Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. My name is Srinath, and I'll be the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. I welcome you all to the 52nd meeting of the Speaking and Beyond Toastmaster Club. Before starting the meeting, I'd like to mention three simple ground rules which we follow in all our Toastmaster meetings. One, as Toastmasters, we don't talk about sex, religion, or politics, so please refrain from discussing these topics. Two, please put yourself on mute if you're not speaking. And three, please turn off your video if you're stepping out of the meeting. As everybody in their life has a mission to achieve their goals, likewise, our Toastmasters Club also has a mission. The mission of our Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I announce this meeting as open and hand over the stage to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Anuja. Let's welcome her with a round of applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srinath, and welcome to yet another awesome meeting that we are going to have of Speaking and Beyond. Welcome to all the guests and the members here. Today is, while I was thinking of my presiding officer's speech, I thought about the timing of our meeting. It's 4 to 5:30 p.m. So ideally, if I say welcome or good afternoon to this meeting, it's not actually afternoon. I stumbled upon a word on internet which is pre-evening. It's a very new word. People are now using it. And since our theme is based on words and its beauty, I thought why not start off with this beautiful word. So I welcome you all to this beautiful pre-evening that I see in Bangalore. And today we are going to have another beautiful meeting in our pre-evening Sunday time after our tummy is full of lunch food and our minds are wanting to sleep. But we all are gathered here for our commitment to better ourselves at public speaking. And why not? Sundays are not just for rest, it's also to better ourselves and continue with our passion. So, welcome to each and every one of you. Do we have any guests today who want to introduce themselves? Okay, I think we don't have a guest today. Okay, so there is one announcement that our club contest will be held on 24th October at from 4 to 5:30 p.m. and all of us are eligible to participate, and we all should participate because competitions are a way to assess how much we have improved over time. Even though we win or we don't win, that's totally different story, but it's going to be a wonderful experience taking part in club contests. So I hope when the registration starts, everyone takes part in it. With this, I would like to officially announce the opening of our 52nd meeting. I don't have a gavel with me, so I'll use my phone to start the meeting. So let's start the meeting. Today's theme is very, you know, captivating, I would say, because words, we all know the power of words. They can make us, they can break us. As I listen from people that words hurt more than sometimes swords. So, with this, I would like to introduce and hand over the stage to our wonderful Toastmaster of the day, who is a mechanical engineer by profession and a photographer by passion. His wife and he are trying to make things simple through their YouTube channel, but why? So, over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Vineet.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anja, for that warm introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I am the captain today, and I will lead you all to victory. Yes. No, I know that we are not in a ship, but words like these do propel something within you, don't they? Has it ever happened to you that you come across some words, written or spoken, that they instantly strike some chord within you, compelling you to think that these words are penned just for you? Well, today's theme is regarding a collection of certain words that have struck a chord with me. But ship or no ship, I assure you that I will lead you all to the victory today. because every time you participate in a Toastmasters session, it's a small victory. Don't you all agree to that? On that note, let me explain how a Toastmasters session is conducted. Any Toastmasters session is divided into 3 sessions. The first part consists of prepared speeches, where the members prepare in advance for either a 4 to 6 minute or a 5 to 7 minute speech, get it mentored and deliver the same. The second part is a fun-filled table topic session, where anyone of the audience can come up and give a 1 or 2 minute speech given on a given topic by a table topic master. And the third part is a most important evaluation section, where our general evaluator of the day will give a report on the entire meeting of the day. Having said that, let me invite on the stage our general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Raman. He describes himself as a man of words, sometimes few, sometimes too many, an avid reader and an idealist who enchants spending time on deep contemplations and highly engaging conversations. Over to you, Toastmaster Raman.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinith. As the general evaluator for today's meeting, I'll be observing the proceedings of the meeting and making my notes. And towards the end of the meeting, I will be sharing my evaluation or the observations. To help me with the evaluation, I have the able TAGL team with me, which will be supporting me and also advising me on other points relating to the evaluations. So which include actually the timer, accounter, grammarian, and the listener. So without further ado, I would like to request the timer, Toastmaster Sultana, to explain her role for today's meeting.
A very good pre-evening, my fellow Toastmasters and guests. Time is free, but it's priceless. You can use it, but you can't own it. You can spend it, but you can't keep it. Having said that, as a timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluation. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the cards, green, yellow, and red, which denote specific times. Times remaining. And the table topic speakers should limit their remarks no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll raise a green card, and 1.5 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I'll raise the red card. And those giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specific time. And icebreaker speeches should be 4 to 6 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I will again raise a green card, 5 minutes an yellow card, and at 6 minutes, a red card. And most of the speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I will raise a green card. At 6 minutes, an yellow card. And 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. The individual speech evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the green, 2.5, it's yellow, and 3 minutes, it's the red card. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sultana. That was a very comprehensive detail of all the breakup of all the times. Thank you for that. Toastmaster, next, I would be introducing the our counter for today's meeting, who is Toastmaster Kevin. Toastmaster Kevin, could you explain your role for today's meeting, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raman. Yes, today I will be the our counter, and I'll be keeping a tab of some of the filler words that all of us use. So I'm just keeping a tab of it, and I would recommend every one of you to be free and as casual as possible while speaking. But there are still some favorite words that favorite filler words that every Toastmaster has. So I'll be highlighting that when I'm supposed to give my report at the end of today's meeting. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Raman.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kevin. Next, I would like to request the grammarian for today's meeting, Toastmaster Lakshmi, to explain her role for the meeting, for today's meeting.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Raman Patil. As a grammarian, I'm sure all of you are thinking about your English teacher today. Promise, I will not be as bad as your English teacher. However, the duty calls upon for me to look at the good usages, not so good usages, and the excellent usage of English language today. I've already started making note of some of them. And to make this session more interesting, we have the word of the day, which is optimistic. Optimistic, I have shared the meaning and the usage in the chat box already, but just to repeat, the meaning of optimistic is to be hopeful, confident about the future, or being positive. I'm very optimistic. Some of the examples, how do you use it in a sentence? I am very optimistic about our chances of success. And I, as a grammarian, am very optimistic that I will get to hear this word being used many times today. And another one is, the timeline for this project is optimistic. With this, I hope, and I'm being optimistic here, that all of you would be using this word very often. Thank you, and over to you, G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi. Now I would like to request Toastmaster Revati to explain her role as a listener for today's meeting.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Being a good listener is as important as being a good speaker. As a listener of today's meeting, I'll be listening to interesting tidbits of information from whoever speaks in this meeting. At end of the meeting or near the end of the meeting, I'll ask few of the questions to all the audience, and I hope you all are a good listener. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Revati, for explaining your role. I'm highly optimistic looking at the agenda that we'll have a very fun-filled meeting lined up for today. So over to you, Toastmaster Vinith.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raman. A special assignment, a performance, or even a role in Toastmasters. Doesn't it make you among the lucky ones who have a chance to grow? At least I think it is that way. But good for us. In Toastmasters, you can always choose to have the odds in your favor, as our prepared speakers have done today. Before I invite our first speaker, let me invite the speech evaluator, Toastmaster Kamini, to read out the speech objectives. Toastmaster Kamini is an army brat, an eternal lover of olive green, a communication enthusiast, and a blessed mother. After being an educator for 5 years, she is now beginning the second innings of her career and life as a business soft skill trainer. Over to you, Toastmaster Kamini.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, for the introduction. So my speaker today is a first-time speaker in the Toastmaster, and the speech is Icebreaker Speech. I would like to read out the purpose statement of the speech. The purpose statement of today's speaker's speech is to introduce herself to the entire club and also learn the basic structure of a public speaking. I wish the speaker all the best. Looking forward to her speech. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kamini. Toastmaster Vanshika, who is attempting her icebreaker speech, has a speech titled Bittersweet Experiences. Vanshika is an ex-Deloitte employee who is currently pursuing her MBA. She is an accountant with an extreme affinity of talking to people and more so over food. Toastmaster Vanshika, Bittersweet Experiences. Toastmaster Vanshika, over to you.
Thank you so much, Vinith. So before I start off, I want you guys to spend a minute to think about this. The harshest experiences give you the best learnings. A very pre-evening to all my Toastmasters and guests. I'm Vanshika, and I'm going to talk about my experiences today. So since childhood, I've always been taught about never taking the easy way out. And I spent years conditioning this learning to be my instinctive thought process. Now, having said that, I have one such experience to share with you. As a person, I'm normally very thrill-seeking and I love adventure activities. So when I got to know that there is going to be a bungee jumping event for 2 days, I quickly jumped in its participation, very impulsively, in fact. Now, a prerequisite information over here that I need you guys to know is that there was a news a couple of months before the event that there was a death of a boy because of a bungee jumping mishap. I was really depressed about that news. But then, as it was impersonal, I read it, I thought of it as a sad news, and then we moved on. Now, coming back to the day of the event, all get up and ready to take it downtown, my brother and I reached the venue of the bungee jumping place. So over there, as we wait, and finally when my turn comes up, I realized that little did I know that, I jumped on the lift and I reached like 150 feet above the ground. And little did I know that an impersonal news will have such an effect on me. I kept thinking about that boy's death, very convinced that the same thing is going to happen to me today. Okay. And as that guy who, when I was upstairs, when he was harnessing me, he looks at me, he's like, "Madam, kuch nahi hoga." And I'm just looking at his face, fully perplexed. Now, somehow those traumatic flashbacks of the incident kept building in my head, so much so that, I just backpedaled on the idea of jumping and came back down. My brother, he was supposed to go after me for the bungee jump. But since he was underage, he was not allowed to go alone. He needed adult supervision, and me being the adult. So since I came back down, I lost my chance as well as I lost the chance for my brother to experience that. Now, I was very disappointed in myself, and I thought that shying away from that experiences was the safest thing to do at that point in time. And let's just not go. But then when I kept seeing people coming down after their jumps, they had this exhilarating expression on their face, and I could not really point out, what is it that caused it. And then I really felt like, I need to try this. I'm definitely missing out. Okay, so I mightied my thoughts and I finally decided to go back up again. Now, while going back up again, I kept talking to myself and I kept talking to the team for comfort. Now, this time when I'm going back up, that guy is harassing me and he's laughing. I'm like, let's just get done with this. And then finally, when I'm standing at the ledge, I talk to myself and I'm like, listen, you just have to jump. Get over your fears, just jump. Okay, swaying at the edge of the ledge like this with a little nudge, I jumped. And as I jumped down, the experience was so exhilarating, I could not comprise that in words. So now when I came back down, I had a huge sense of accomplishment. The tables had turned now. All right, I kept talking about the experiences to my brother and finally convinced him also into doing it. Now I went up again with my brother and finally ended up jumping again with him. So little did I know, from not doing it to doing it twice. That's how I faced my fears. And then I realized that this experience, about having a fear in your head is only limited to as good as in your head. If you can get over it, it is better for you. So that's one experience that I feel that, facing your fears and never giving up really, really helps. Another experience that I would like to share with you is, I want to start this by a quote actually. Julie Andrews, as a renowned actress, she said that perseverance is failing 19 times and succeeding the 20th time. Now, I realized this at the very beginning of my career. During college, I had joined a startup as a sales intern. My job comprised mainly of, facilitating downloads of the in-house app by the employees at the corporate cafeterias. Now, the issue over here was that we would only get, since our app was developed on food or based on food and cafeteria, we would target the break periods of all the employees at the cafeterias. So one thing, so on my first day of work with all my zeal, I show up at the Accenture cafeteria. My senior explains my task to me and hands out these flyers that I have to distribute along with the downloads. So with all the optimism that I had, I walked up to this group of ladies who were chit-chatting during the lunch break. So I was like, now let me tell you one thing. From experience, I've realized that when you go and try to sell something to employees during their breaks, which they really, really look forward to, it's like shooting yourself in the foot. So I anyhow walked up to this table and I asked them that, guys, can I have 1 minute of yours? They looked at me like I have asked them for their bonuses. Anyway, so I went on to say my piece and I asked them politely to download the app and I handed them a flyer. They all agreed unanimously And I was like, wow, this was a piece of cake. I'm great at this. I went to my senior. I went to update all of this. And as soon as I turned around, I was shocked. The flyer was on the floor and the girls and the ladies from the table had vanished. And I felt really embarrassed, and my senior had a chuckle and asked me not to think much of it. I was feeling sick in the pit of my stomach and I wanted to leave immediately from that place. However, after lunch, I gathered myself up, gathered my thoughts and decided, let's give it another try during the coffee break. But this time, I decided that I am not moving from the place till I see these guys download the app on their phone. Okay. So with all the perseverance that I could gather, I went up and I did not return until I got at least 20 downloads. So this experience really boosted my confidence and shaped me to become the person that I am today. So I'm happy to say that at the end of my internship, I was leading a team of 10, and that was the most accomplishing experience ever. In fact, I even happened to get a call back from the company and asking them to, and they asked me to lead for a project for a temporary period. And this, once I got done with the call, all I could think of was the rejection that I had in the first day. Had I given up that day, I would have never been the person or had the thought process as I have today. So coming back to my statement, guys, what's been your harshest learning experiences? And I want you to think of it or come with it as a grateful experience to pick up and learn from, and not think of it as a traumatic experience. So with this, I rest my thoughts today and I hand over my mic to the next speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vanshika, for that wonderful speech. I cannot believe that that's an icebreaker speech.
Thank you.
I clearly can see that you love talking to people, not only over food, over meetings as well. So, okay.
Yes.
So I just want to make a note that the timer doesn't have the timer cards. So she is improvising using some props. I would request Sijo to pin her and make a note of the props that she is using. Okay. So with that, let's move to the second speaker of the day. He is none other than Toastmaster Sijo, who is attempting his level 2 project 1 in this presentation mastery pathway. So before I move to the speaker, I would like to invite the second evaluator, who is Toastmaster Lakshmi. Toastmaster Lakshmi is a soft skill trainer who believes that becoming self-aware is the first step towards transformation. She works extensively with students, freshers, and homemakers to level up their skills. Recently, she was a pageant coach and a judge at 2 international beauty pageants, Vismay 2020 and Mayukham 2021. She is a VPPR of the Gabby's Toastmasters Club. I would now invite Toastmaster Lakshmi to deliver the objectives of the speaker too.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Vineet. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to share his impact of his or her style on others. Other than the purpose of the speech, I would also be evaluating the speaker on his non-verbal communications as well. I'm being optimistic here to hear a wonderful speech. All the best to the speaker, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi, for making the objectives of the speech clear. I would like to now invite Toastmaster Sijo, but before that, he believes that we should use the right words at the right time and can bring peace instead of chaos. He is also looking forward to the Toastmaster journey in his journey of refinement. So I would like to now invite Toastmaster Sijo to deliver a speech. Match the following, Toastmaster Sijo.
Just 1 second. So I think the timer would be using red, blue, yellow, and the corresponding colors, right?
Yeah, she'll be using a Sprite bottle for a green card,
okay,
and a yellow cloth for a yellow card, and a red packet for a red card.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thanks. Thank you, Toastmaster Vineet. So when I look back and reflect on my life journey, there are a lot of memories float, and some of them brings happiness to my face. But there are some memories which I feel I could have handled those situations better in case if I could have communicated better. During my schooling, there was one favorite question which I always used to answer. The match the following. So basically, it is a favorite for everyone, I think, because you don't have to really memorize anything. So it's basically you match the left-hand side things with the right-hand side. So I strongly believe the communication style is something like that. So if you can match your communication style to the right occasion, you bring peace. But if you don't match it at the right place, instead you bring chaos. And the damage it may bring are irreversible. And the byproducts, regret, guilt, and like what I just said, I'll keep feeling like, okay, I could have done better. I could have managed it in a better way. Now today, I'll take you through some of my experiences in which my communication style, how did I apply each communication style, and what was the outcome. And the outcome we will be deciding as an evaluation at the end. So in my family, I always been tagged as a talkative person. Just keep in mind, in my family, so I always like talking, whether it be politics or any issues in the family. I just get indulgent in so much that my mom, my mother, and my father, they are the best audience for me. Not because that I'm a best orator. They don't have any other choice. They have to listen to me. So whenever I go for a vacation or a holidays to my home, so I keep elaborating all these discussions. Morning, there is a sofa wherein I sit and start discussing all this. But usually what I try to bring here is all that analytical skills which I couldn't apply in my profession or in my work, I try to apply here. So any issues which I discuss, I try to dissect it in an analytical, a logical way. So my mom will come with a simple thing, like it'll be very simple thing, like something has happened in the family. So I try to analyze it. I'll all of a sudden I'll become that big logic guy, and I'll try to tell, no, logically what you told is not correct now. And I keep arguing on this. And sometimes what happens is all these points which I was trying to prove, it ends up in hurting her emotions. And whatever I'm trying to prove a point, it will end up in conflicts. And these are kind of the communication styles which I try to apply and which bring some damages in my life. Now let me take you through some experience which I have with my friends. So I have some close friends. Recently, I was traveling for on a trip to him. So when I was on that end of the trip, so we used to discuss, since we have some like-minded hobbies, we used to discuss those things. We used to become very, and we used to have engaging conversations in that. So once he was sharing one of his experience, what has happened in his life. And he was taking around, I think, 5 minutes or so to share his experience. So as soon as he was able to finish the experience, immediately in my mind, there's some other experience came up, which has happened to me. So I was thinking, oh, whatever this guy is telling has happened to me. Okay. So I was like, I couldn't resist myself. And as soon as he was trying to finish his talk, I wanted to tell that, no problem. This has happened 5 years back. This is the same thing has happened to me. So don't worry. Maybe I has had more damage than you. So you don't be worried about it. And in the end, what has happened is like, if he would have shared 5 minutes of his experience, I ended up elaborating my experience in 15 minutes. This is another experience which you can evaluate. Equating experiences. So what I was trying to do is like, I try to equate his experience with me. Now, let me take you through a situation in my work. So we had a very high priority issue. So all the team members, the different teams were working, and none of us couldn't find any solution for it. So the project manager called for a discussion. He told everyone was in the conference room. Everyone was discussing, but the discussion was like nothing. Everyone was trying to tell, it's not my issue, it's your issue. It's not because of my code this issue has come. It's because of your testing this issue has come. So this discussion just kept on going. And at the end, there was no solution. And if any person was about to continue a discussion, the other team member will come and tell, sorry to interrupt you. But in fact, he was interrupting in the middle of the discussion, and he will use this phrase, sorry to interrupt, and he will try to enforce his point over the other person. So in a way, what he was telling is he's blocking the other person's train of thoughts, as well as his entire statement couldn't be completed. And this went on for an hour, nothing happened, no outcome. So these are three experiences which I am just bringing in front of you to evaluate. So what was the communication style which I had taken in each cases? Let me take through my first experience with my family. Yeah, I was trying to be very logical, very analytical, perfect, very direct. That is the best way to solve an issue. But some cases, especially when you're with your family, you also would have noticed this. Not always being very plain on your analytical or logical things won't work out. So you have to have that ingredient of supportive and initiative style as well. So it is a mix of these different communication style will work out in that places. And let me come to the next experience with my friend, equating experiences. So this is something which I have seen after working on this pathway. I have seen that this is something which we see very common. So whenever some person tells you an experience, we immediately try to relate that experience to us. So we always think, okay, I was trying to be supportive to him, but were we really supportive? No. So each person's experience is unique. You should not actually compare that experience with your experience. So rather than being a supportive person, what you're trying to do is like you're trying to compete with his experience, and you're trying to rate that, okay, my experience was more bad than your experience or more good than your experience. So if you want to be supportive to that person, just listen. Don't be hyper supportive and try to equate your experience with other person. Now let me come to the last experience. I think that is very evident. It was just a blame. That is all happened. Nobody really tried to solve the issue. So that kind of discussion, again, though it's being in a work environment, you could have injected more of a supportive and analytical and the direct communication styles. So in essence, in conclusion, what I feel is this is like you are making a dish. If you have all the ingredients, the chili, the salt, everything at the right proportion, you get a better outcome. If not, you're going to have a bad dish. So you match your communication style to the correct occasion, and you can be at peace, and you will be out of the chaotic situation. Over to you, Toastmaster Vineet. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sijo, for enlightening us with the equating experiences scenario. So match the following has always been my favorite type of question. And I would take in your input on matching the expressions or the emotions that required for each situation, as you have told. And I also find that sometimes we'll be deep in our own thoughts when somebody is sharing their experience, and we'll be losing track of what they are trying to convey, and try to come up with our own experience and try to share it back to them. So the thought process will be lost in trying to understand, rather than in trying to understand what the person is trying to communicate, we'll be trying to analyze what we have to talk back to them. So that is also one hurdle which I find. Okay, moving on, that concludes the prepared speeches section of today's meeting. And I was scrolling through my Facebook feed sometime back when I saw a beautiful poster. It had mountains on its backdrop with a girl looking at them and these words slapped across. When was the last time you did something for the first time? It was one of those posters that made me to stop and read it again. I would like to ask each one of you this question now. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Can you remember having tried something new in your recent past? Maybe a new hobby or a new sport or simply meeting a new person. Here is what I think. If a month goes by and you haven't tried anything new in it, I think it is a month wasted. The world around us has so many experiences to experience, and I'm sure that one lifetime would not be enough to experience them all. Lucky for all of us, our next section will offer them something to try new right now. I will let the table topic master do the talking. I now invite Toastmaster Anuja, who is a senior consultant at KPMG. She has been a Toastmaster for 2 years now. Having served as the Pathways Coordinator for Division C, she has now taken up the responsibility of Program Quality Director of Division F. She loves reading about history, watching documentaries, and is interested in politics. Can we have a big round of applause for our table topic master, Toastmaster Anuja?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vineet, for the wonderful introduction. The way that I've designed the table topics is based on the theme, which is on words. So I'll be displaying a picture with a word that I feel you might have not heard in your life before. There will be the meaning of that word as well. The speaker has to speak on it for 1 to 2 minutes, whatever you feel after listening to that, after seeing that word, or whatever you feel is the meaning of that word, or how it connects with your life, because it is a totally new word. And as Toastmaster Vineet said, so that will be a totally new word or new, thing that you are seeing today, and you can connect with the experience which you have earlier on. So I'll just share my screen. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is the first word. As you can see, it is finifugal, and it means afraid of finishing anything. I'm using this just for reference. So suppose you have had an experience in your life where you were afraid of finishing anything, you have to speak on it for 1 to 2 minutes. So who would like to go for this first? I am unable, okay. I'm unable to see people on the chat. Can you please unmute and say whoever volunteers?
Anuja, can I go first?
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry, but I'm unable to see anyone's name. So can you
Sarla
say?
here. Sarla here.
Okay. Yeah. So the word for you is cavernicolous, which means dwelling or living in caves.
Living in caves in for the ages, or just like past living beings? No lights, no power, no food, I guess, and limited amount of water, and craving for shelter, a proper one, or scared of animals, winds, anything. A very scary thought, I must say. But yes, can be adventurous, because at this time when we are locked at our home, with everything in our home, but what we are missing is the fresh air, the nature, or to live somewhere in a peaceful mind, apart from this cellular world or laptops or work from home things. So yes, I must say I am willing to live in caves. And yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sarla. That was really a wonderful take on this word. Do we have another volunteer?
Is Kevin here?
Okay. Yes, Kevin. So the word for you is Amish, which means homey, cozy, and unpretentious.
Right, I'm someone who would like to be Hamish at times, but I would like to keep hustling as well. So, because hustling keeps me moving forward rather than being Hamish, because Hamish, from what I can understand, from what is written on the screen, this is the new word that I've heard in my life. So, it is something, it is like being cozy and comfortable with whatever, wherever you are. I'm not a person who's like that. I would like to push myself forward and be the best in whatever I can be. So, yeah, I would describe myself as a hustler more than being a Hamish person. With that, since I have a little more time left, so I would say that I would suggest like being Hamish is also required, because always hustling will make us will make us be more like a machine than than showing the human side of us. So we got to be Hamish. We have to spend time with our family. We have to enjoy with everyone. That is the reason why we have weekends given, holidays given. Otherwise, we would always be hustling and prioritizing money over being comfortable. So I think with that, I hand over the stage back to Toastmaster Anuja. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kevin. That was really wonderful. And I did not feel like it was a new word for you, because you very well understood that you are not Hamish. So I would now like to see who else wants to volunteer.
Yeah,
May I go next?
Okay.
Okay. Can you say your name? Kamini, is it?
Yes, this is Kamini here.
Yeah, sure, Kamini. So your word is bellicostic, which means aggressive, belligerent, warlike.
All right, bellicostic. Yes, this is me a few years ago. Highly aggressive in my nature, the temper always at the tip of my nose. Anything is good enough as everything to boil me from toe to head or head to toe. So in this aggression, of course, at that moment, it didn't hit me that what am I losing? But as they say, with each experience, you grow as a person. So there came a point in life where I understood that this aggression is not getting me anywhere in life except inviting my own troubles, my body troubles, my mental troubles, my emotional troubles. So is being aggressive always the solution? Is being loud always the tool to prove that you are right? The answers to all these questions were a big no, capital N-O. And that's when I tried to think of a different way where I can be this person who, of course, says what he wants to say, but in a more maturer, wiser way, rather than letting people enjoy the drama of me. I could possibly be a clever person and say what I have to say. And that way, it's more inviting. So when I'm aggressive, I'm pushing people away from me. You know, okay, to share a personal experience, I would like to say that there was this particular time where I heard the closest people in my family saying that there's no use of talking to her. She will just throw a fit. She will get angry. So it's better not to involve her. And to hear something from the closest people, it's not a very good feeling. Believe me, it's not a very good feeling. You feel, okay, where am I going wrong? Why are people disconnecting? And these are my people. But then, as we've all heard many a times, that answers lie within us. All we need to do is calm ourselves, because in the ruffled water, we can't even see our own reflection. So in order to see our reflection, in order to do the self-reflection, we need to be calm. And when I was calm, I understood that by switching my style of aggression to supportive and being calm, I think I will be able to invite people, to make them feel comfortable around me. And that's exactly what I've been practicing since past 2 years. And although I've not reached to the 100%, but I am sure that I've come at least 60% from being aggressive. Thank you so much. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kamini. That was a really wonderful experience that you shared with this word, and also a lesson for all of us that we shouldn't be bellicostic. The world is better when we are calm. And do we have another volunteer?
Yeah,
I see
I'll like to go,
yeah.
Anuja. I'd like to go.
Yeah, sure, Sachin. So the word for you is strepitus or strepitus, which means boisterous or noisy.
Yeah, good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Sorry, just a minute. Yeah, the topic is quite new. This is the first time I'm hearing this word. Strepitus means noisy or boisterous, right? We all stay in cities, right? And we hear a lot of noise every day. A noise, I will call it a noise pollution, right? And sometimes we feel so irritated hearing this noise that we want to run away to a quiet places, right? And trust me, very recently I went to a very quiet place called Leh Ladakh, and then I can relate between the noisy city and a very quiet place. And the place was really awesome. It was very scenic, but very little noise and a scenic beauty. The mountains, snow-capped mountains, they all were silent, but seemed to me that they speak a lot, they convey a lot, right? And they give, a boost to our, I will say, a kind of peace to our bruised soul. So I stayed there for almost 7 days, enjoyed, and then again I returned back to Gurgaon. The moment I entered the city, I came out of the airport, again I could hear the same noise of vehicle, noise of people, and again I got totally disturbed. So something is very important that we take break and move to a place which is less noisy and try to regain our lost peace. I'll tell you, there's a course called Vipassana, where you are invited for a meditation session and you are not allowed to speak for almost 10 days. No gadget is there, nothing to disturb, nothing noisy. And that's the state where you go within yourself, you discover the real yourself within those 10 days. Trust me, if you move out from the noisy cities and go to a quieter place, you can really find yourself and you can discover yourself, and that will totally rejuvenate you and make you ready to fight again our noisy life, which I say urbanized life today. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Anuja.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sachin. And even I have heard a lot about Vipassana, and I do want to try it out someday, like staying peaceful for such a long time, not talking to someone for 10 days or so, I guess. Thank you so much for that wonderful experience and sharing that wonderful experience. Do we have other volunteers? Or I'll start picking someone.
May I go next if there is no one else? This is Lakshmi.
Yeah, sure, Lakshmi. So the word for you is it's atavistic, which means relating back to feelings or ideas that people had in the distant past.
Amma, why do I have to get up in the morning on Diwali and get a oil bath done? Why is it that festivals have to be celebrated only in this particular way? Oh my God, do I have to again sit for that 1 hour of puja? Amma, this is so boring, Amma. Yes, my child, I understand. I understand that this is boring. I understand that you have a lot of questions related to why are we doing all of this? Take a minute, go back a few years, and that will give you the answer to all your whys, to all your hows, and to all your frustrations. Probably many years back, people didn't have a mall to go to. People didn't have a cinema theater to go to. People didn't have the moisturizing cream to apply during the winters. Now, is that, or was that the reason why all these traditions and rituals have come this long way? Festivals. Festivals is a time where relatives and friends and family meet up to have a good time once in a couple of months. Because back then, there were no malls, there were no parks, there were no pubs. Why that oil bath on winters during Diwali? Because Diwali usually is around winter, and I think back then, moisturizers were not available. So that oil bath helps smoothen out your skin. So yes, a lot of times, answers to many unanswered questions on why we are doing it even at this age might come if you halt, think about the distant past of the people back then. That would lead you to the answers of today's why. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lakshmi. That was really a wonderful explanation of this word and a wonderful story as well, because even I have nagged my mom a lot for all these stuff. Now we have, do we have another volunteer? I see Raman.
Yes, Toastmaster Anuja, yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. So the word for you is Au Naran. I just hope that's how it's pronounced, because these words are very new for me as well. Trust me, I don't know these words at all. So this is a person who lives in self-imposed isolation or seclusion from the world.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Anuja. All these topics are really unique, and thanks for coming up with these topics, firstly. Thank you. On that note, every narcissistic person is like a person who has been living inside of a shell, like a cocoon, like in a cave, like we discussed earlier. It's more about the self-image of a person. It could be lack of confidence to get out of that cocoon or the comfort zone, whatever you call it. Some of those, some of the examples that we can think of is some of the greatest or the most infamous dictators that we can think of, be it Hitler, Mussolini, or anyone else from the history. All of these were self-imposed, though they were they were having so many people around them. They had built a wall around them, a virtual wall, and they did not break out of that wall until the end. And we all know what happened as a result of that. These are the kind of people who eventually became over optimistic about their own ambitions and ultimately met the fatal end which they deserved. Self-imposed isolation is more like a whirlpool in which we get sucked into, dragged into, without our own understanding or knowledge. And this happens or begins from the moment one starts to admire oneself or becomes more narcissistic than one is supposed to be. So it is very important to be self-judgmental at all times. Question yourself about your own actions, about your own thoughts, about your own behavior in a given context. You will do mistakes, or you might come about situations which you may not handle. But try to remember what went wrong, correct it, and try to do better the next time and improve step by step. On that note, I give it back to you, Toastmaster Anuja. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raman. That was really thought-provoking of relating the word with how narcissist people self-impose isolation on themselves. So, do we have another volunteer? Okay. If we don't have another volunteer, I'll start picking people. Revati, would you like to give a try?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So Toastmaster Revati, the word for you is immolate or emulate, which is to sacrifice or kill as a sacrificial victim, especially by burning or to destroy by fire.
Yeah. Being a mother, we sacrifice a lot, but it's a worth. We sacrifice our little bit of time which we used to enjoy before, but it's really worth. And at the end of the day, seeing the face of the child, we always feel whatever sacrifice we made, it's worth. So other than that, at workplace also, and we do a lot of sacrifice, means compromise on the family time. But yeah, that helps us being independent, financially independent, so it's worth it. So I would say, like, at the end of the day, or at the end of whatever sacrifice we make, it's really worth. We should always think in a positive, like whatever sacrifice we make won't go waste. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Revati, for shedding light on what sacrifices do moms make. I see we have Srinath. Srinath, would you like to give it a try?
Sure. Sure, Toastmaster.
Yeah, so the word for you is mauvaise, which means bad or wicked.
Right. Thank you for this chance. To start off, your words, they look like, do you know Shashi Tharoor by any chance? Because all these words seem to be right out of his dictionary. But jokes apart, yeah, mauvais, I think it may be French. I remember taking French way back in high school. Bad or wicked? Since childhood, we all are taught not to be bad or wicked. But then of late, a lot of advertisements and in media, there's this portrayal, and it's said that sometimes wicked is good, sometimes being bad is also good. But then if we actually look into it, as Nietzsche said, what is good and what is bad, it's all it's all a human perception. What may be really good for someone may be bad for the other. So to keep it very short, I think what is bad or good is is what a society or its morality decides rather than what is actually perceived by people. I'd like to leave it there. Thank you for the chance, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Srinath. Do we have time to take other speakers? General Evaluator?
We'll have to check with the timer, I suppose.
Okay. I think I have okay, I have 2 or 3 topics more. So if you want to try. Okay, we'll go ahead with anyone else who wants to volunteer. I see Mazahir, but he is not on his video. I see Arindam and I see Vanshika. Okay, Arindam left, I guess.
I can take it, Anuja.
Okay.
Give it a try.
So Arindam, your topic is severe. I think it's a French word, maybe, I don't know. To take measures to stop something or to put an end to enforce more stringently or more thoroughly.
Okay. Thank you, Anuja, for sharing this topic and to talk about it. It basically pops a thought in my mind, which I do every day and every night for my daughter to stop behaving anything. Don't do this. Do not go there. You should not eat like this, or you should behave like this. And then she said that, no, I will do it like this. Small bit, I'll do it. No, I will not let you do this. And these all things which goes around entire day, entire night with me or with my wife, enforcing something which my child or my daughter may not like. And this which basically goes back in my mind that this is how our parents used to do it with us, and now we are doing with them. And I think that may be that they might be doing it with their kids when they grow up, which I feel that we should have a mix where I can stop, where I can be a bit equally accommodating them. Yeah, you can do this kind of things, which I would also enjoy and encourage. Back to you, Toastmaster. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Arindam. And yeah, to take measures to stop something, I see my siblings, taking measure to stop my nephews from looking at the phones or tablets for a very long time. So I know what you are saying. With this, I think I would hand over back to our Toastmaster of the day to continue with the session. I hope you all learned new words, and trust me, even I had no clue of what these words were. These were just, unique words that I found in internet, and I thought, why not see what people have their thoughts about the new words when they look at it. Over to you, Toastmaster Vineet.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anuja, for that breathtaking table topic session. I could not have asked for a better or fitting session to demonstrate the power of words. With just a word that is being described or shown on the screen, you are able to make the speakers connect to those by telling them the meaning and then asking them to relate their experiences. And I think you have done a great job in doing justice to the theme of the day. Words words can do wonders. Thank you, Toastmaster Anjan. So as we come to the end of the session, I have only one last play of words that comes to my mind to wrap them all. A poem. A poem words are chosen for their beauty and the sounds are carefully arranged. And this is a small poem that I had written a few years ago. It is titled Shadowless. And I would request you to identify what I'm talking about at the end of this poem. She met him a few years ago, an evening so special to her friends that became, but never knew, that she couldn't live without him. The stars pierced the sky. He wished to see her again. There she slept on the velvet bed like an angel in disguise. A sweet smile overshadowed her startled face as it was the feet that he touched with his cold hands, which her little blanket forgot to cover. Little did she know, when he began to toss her curly, lustrous hair, he pressed her close so hard that she cuddled to make herself warm. When he played with the bells for her, she could see through his eyes the stars twinkle, the leaves clap, and the clouds dance to his tune. Her shadowless friend, left as the window, was shut by the caring hands that took her to the cradle. Silence of the still air was drowned in the lullaby that followed.
It's daughter.
Okay, it is about the
Daughter.
play that is happening between a wind and the daughter. So the shadowless friend is a wind that she has come to become friend with, and it's a newborn child. So on that note, a big thanks to all of you for being here today and making this meeting a big success. And it is time for the gender evaluation. I would like to hand over the stage to the gender evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Raman.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vineet. It was a wonderful briefing on the topic, and it was good to see the transition between different segments and all. So that was really good. Thank you. Before we begin with the evaluation, the general evaluation, may I request the speech evaluators to present their evaluations, please? So I would request the evaluator for Speaker 1, Toastmaster Kamini, to present the evaluation for Speaker 1. Thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. And before I begin, I would like to congratulate the Speaker 1 on giving her first speech with so much of confidence. I mean, it was hard to believe. I think like one of the Toastmasters said that it's hard to believe you're doing it for the first time. So a round of applause for you on that, Toastmaster Vanshika. I liked your confidence, like I've already said. Another thing that struck me about the speech title, that it was very similar to the theme of today's meeting, your club meeting. Your club meeting talks about words having power to hurt or to heal. Similarly, the speech talks about life being a journey of highs and lows, ups and downs. So a very well thought topic. I must congratulate on choosing this topic as well for your speech. Now, a few suggestions that I could give you from my side. Since it's a speech, we always prefer that you stand and face your audience and deliver that. So if you could do that in the upcoming speeches, I think it would just add more flavor to your delivery. Secondly, what I noticed is that speech, you know, it was quite bland. Like there were no voice modulations. Had there been some highs and lows, because in the first part, you were talking about bungee jumping and this being your fear, you facing your fear not once, but twice. It's a strong message that you're giving out to everyone. So in case if you can get a bit more conviction in your tone and throw emphasis there, I think it would work wonderfully for people to register that in their mind that yes, this is the message that she's trying to give through the experience which she's sharing from her life. So in case if you could get that voice modulation where you can take it a bit high, you can get it a bit low. I remember a point that I was upset. And again, you know, that went in very plain. So if you could mellow your tone a little and say, I was upset, or maybe, you know, some other way that can be your way. But just bring in the variation. It just adds so much flavor to the speech. The voice can do wonders to the speech. Another thing that I want to say is there were very good hand gestures, like complementing the speech with your hand gestures, and they were visible to us. But had you been standing, I am sure it would have been more visible. One thing that I noticed was that you were looking down. Maybe you were trying to read something from somewhere. So in case if that can be checked upon, because, you know, it just comes across that you're reading a certain thing, because in your second experience that you shared, you were talking about a quotation from some actress. Pardon me, I've forgotten the name, but I believe you were reading it from somewhere. So in case if you could memorize that and say that looking straight into the eyes of the camera, so that audience feels that you are looking at them. So eye contact again comes in as a very important aspect to keep in mind. What else can I say? You were smiling in between the speeches, so that was taken care of. And yes, just work on your voice modulation, just throw the emphasis on certain words. Like when you were saying, I was shocked. You just said, I was shocked when the flyer was on the floor. So if you could have said, I was shocked to see the flyer on the floor, you know, just a little modulation, a variation, like I've been saying it, and this is the third time that it will add flavor to your speech. I am towards the end, I would like to say that I am very optimistic of the fact that you will take these suggestions into consideration and give your listeners a good treat the next time when you come on the virtual stage. Very well done. Once again, congratulations on breaking the ice and letting people know about your life in 2 experiences. Thank you so much, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kamini. That was a comprehensive feedback and evaluation, which comprised almost all the elements of the speech. Thank you for that evaluation. Moving on with the next evaluation, we have 2 evaluators for speaker 2. I would like to request Toastmaster Arindam to present his evaluation for speaker 2, please. Thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Raman. Thanks a lot, Sejo, for giving an insightful session on different communication styles. It shows that you have experienced all different kind of styles, and you know which kind of style has to be used in which situation. It was such a learning experience of those styles, and I can relate to them, that how I have been using in my home or in my office and with my friends. Thanks a lot, Sejo. You spoke about 3 styles, which is direct feedback, which could be a hurtful sometimes, and it should be changed to the sandwich method. You also spoke about that style where we are just equating the experiences with the listener, rather than being empathetic toward the listener to understand what the experience they have gone through it, and how we should support them, encourage them. You also spoke about the blame game, which happens very often in the offices there, right? And we do not cooperate to solve the issue. Rather than we basically blame and give, we basically follow the same game which has been done in the last sessions as well. And the last thing, right? You also suggested that what kind of style should be adapted in those situations, right? These are the 3 things which I learned, and I think you have done a fantastic job on that thing. The item which I think you should work upon is the vocal variety, where you can use the 3 elements of tone, speed, and the volume there. For example, you just said that it hurt my mother emotions. I could have said that in the different style, that it hurt my mother's emotions. So just kind of a expressions or maybe a volume can be a much more impactful there, right? To challenge yourself, I think you should, next time when you deliver the same speech, you should also talk about that how your leadership style or the communication style have changed from those experiences, and how you have incorporated those experiences and made it, and what was the impact of those experiences or the style on the same people. Like next time when you speak to your mother, and you not being analytical, you are being a much more, you're using the sandwich method to talk about those feedbacks, or your answers are right, how she behaves, if she, and with the same your friends and colleagues as well. At the last, I think I will just talk about that the speech was insightful, exemplary, which talked about which kind of style has to be spoke in which situation. And I'm very optimistic that this feedback will encourage you to deliver the next speech with a more vocal variety. Thanks. Back to Toastmaster Raman.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Arindam. Thank you for the feedback and the evaluation. Now, I would like to request Toastmaster Lakshmi, who's the second evaluator, for the first speaker to present her evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Raman. Being self-aware is that first step towards transformation. This is something that I believe in, and I saw it in Toastmaster Sijo's speech today. Through the 3 anecdotes that he gave us, and the way he evaluated those 3 anecdotes or incidences, he made it very clear to each one of us that he is self-aware. He knows the places where he has made mistakes and he is ready to make those changes. Well done on that. Now, as soon as I heard the name, Match the Following, I was immediately taken back to my school days. I was like, okay, this is something very interesting, and I'm sure there is something very interesting that's going to happen. Excellent choice of title, I would say, Match the Following. Now, what else caught my attention here? The other thing that really caught my attention was your very comfortable style of talking. You had this very casual way of telling. Now, some of us are very dramatic, including me. Some of us are very casual, like you. And each of these styles has its pros and cons. When you get too dramatic, people might lose attention. When you get too casual also, people might lose attention and focus, right? So it is all about trying to get that exact balance. Now, coming to that, some places of improvements or what you could have done a little more better. Throughout the speech, there was one thing that I noticed. You have an excellent sense of humor. Like, for example, when you said, not because I'm a good orator, but they don't have a choice. Now, I wish you had put in the right pauses at the right place. The impact of that humor would have been way, way, way more than what it was today. Similarly, another thing is your title. Let me go back to the title again. As much as I loved your title, Match the Following, I wish you had used it in a more better way in your speech, probably by actually conducting a Match the Following. You had given us the 3 incidents, the 3 anecdotes, and then you could have given us the 3 communication styles, and you could have told, come on, now match the following. That would have got us a little more into your speech and what you were trying to tell us, okay? Then I think I just had one more feedback for you. That was, the last feedback is this. Now, you had 3 incidences that you had mentioned. If that could have probably been cut down to 2, as much as I love listening to stories and anecdotes, just keeping the purpose of the project in mind, if you had reduced it to 2 and tried to kind of compare, tried to given us a little more insight on the different kinds of communication styles, or what is it exactly that supportive style, or what is it exactly direct style, it would have made a big difference. But overall, let me tell you, thank you so much for taking us through this beautiful journey of yours, because nothing like an anecdote or storytelling can impact the listeners better. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi. Now I would like to request the tag team to present their evaluation and the details that they have collected. To begin with, I would request the timer of the day to present the timesheets for all the speakers for today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Raman. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, yes, we can hear. Yeah.
For the icebreaker speech, Toastmaster Vanshika, she took 7 minutes and 41 seconds. And Toastmaster Siju, for the topic match the following, he took 7 minutes and 30 seconds, 30. And coming to the table topic, Toastmaster Sarla took 55 seconds. Toastmaster Kevin took 1 minute and 34 seconds. Toastmaster Kamini took 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Toastmaster Sachin took 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Toastmaster Lakshmi took 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Toastmaster Raman took 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Toastmaster Revati took 59 seconds. Toastmaster Srinath took 1 minute and 9 seconds. Toastmaster Arindam took 1 minute and 31 seconds. And coming to the evaluation, speak evaluator Kamini, for the speaker 1, she took 3 minutes and 52 seconds. And general evaluator Arindam, for the speaker, second speaker Siju, he took 3 minutes and 11 seconds. And speech evaluator Lakshmi, for again speaker 2, she took 3 minutes and 18 seconds. That's it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sultana. That was on the dot, all the details. Thank you for that. Now I would like to request the R counter of today, Toastmaster Kevin, to present the details that he has collected.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raman. So as an accountant, I was keeping a tab of the words, the filler words that was mostly used during the session. I would not like to point out anyone, but the most favorite filler word of our club or our session for today would be the word "a." I myself started the table topic with the word "a," so I'm not going to point out and tell who else has used this word, but this is the most commonly used word. And there was one word called "you know" that was used like frequently, which can be avoided. So my tip for everyone is like this word, the reason why we use the word "a" is mainly because we are sometimes not prepared with what needs to be said next, or we don't have the flow of thought in our mind. So that's when this word "a" is commonly used. So if we do a little more preparation, I'm sure this the frequency of "a," the usage of "a" can be reduced. And with that, back to you, Toastmaster Ram.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kevin. Thank you for that, for keeping it very crisp and simple. Thank you for that. So next, I would like to request Toastmaster Lakshmi to present the details she has noted on as a grammarian for today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Lakshmi.
Thank you. So today, there goes the "a" again. Okay, so we have 3 of us who use the word of the day. That is Toastmaster Raman, Toastmaster Kamini, and Toastmaster Arindam. Great job on that. It was a very easy word, optimistic. Now let's see on some of the good usages today. Pre-evening, I really like that word. Thank you for that. The next is words can make us or break us. Strike a chord. Then you can choose from all the odds. Impulsively. Ready to take it downtown. Little did I know. Traumatic flashback. Exhilarating expression. Persistence is failing 19 times and succeeding the 20th time. Feeling sick in the pit of the stomach. Hyper supportive. And then there was this comparative usage that was, I think, by the speaker too, which was something like it was like making a dish. It is like making a dish. I really liked that comparison that he had used. And of course, great job to the table topic master. Is she here? I can't see her. I loved every word. In fact, just today while I was searching for the word of the day, I found a couple of words which were newly added to the English dictionary in the year 2020. And I was surprised to see those words. And one word was COVID-19, which was added as part of, 2020. But all these words were really excellent. And I have noted down the meanings as well. Thank you so much, Table Topic Master, for that. Coming to some usages which could have been better, instead of saying maturer, I think we could have used more mature. Then, although I haven't reached the 100%, it could be although I haven't reached 100%. Now, there is this impact of our native language on how we speak and our pronunciations, right? That is something that each individual can work on if you really think that you want to improve. There are one way of working on improving our native language use or that native language impact is probably by watching more English movies, listening to English songs and trying to imitate it. Another impact of this native language usage on us is, using certain words like right. Now, after every sentence, we'll be like, right, right. So that comes from the, probably in Hindi, it could be henna kind of a usage, that you ask like a rhetorical question. So that's something that we can probably think of working on. And yes, there was another correction here. None of us couldn't find. So it could be none of us could find because you've already said none of us. So I think it should be none of us could find. Overall, it was a pretty brilliant speech today with many, many good usages and a few little not so great usages. But I'm sure these mistakes happen not consciously, but unconsciously as we speak, because our speaking language is different from the written language. So all the best, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Let's hear a round of applause, please. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi. And let's move on to the last segment of this evaluation, which is the listener's role. Let's hear what questions the listener has got to pose to all of us. So over to you, listener, Toastmaster Revati.
Hi, good evening all and welcome. I'm optimistic to say that I know all you are good listeners. With that, I have prepared a few questions from all the speakers from the meeting, and I'll go one by one so that I'll know how good listener you are. Okay. What is the topic of our first speaker, Vanshika?
Bittersweet experience?
Yes. And which play or which event she was scared of initially and she enjoyed it thoroughly?
Bungee jumping.
And she went with
a brother.
Right. And she also developed the app. What was the concept of the app? On what this thing she had developed?
Food.
Yeah, food and cafeteria. And what were first download? How many downloads did she get from the
20?
Right. And in the internship, she was offered to lead how many people?
10.
Right. 10. Good. So what is the profession of our second evaluator, Lakshmi?
Soft skill trainer.
Right. Well, what is the topic of our second speaker, Siju?
Match the following.
Match the following.
In his speech, he referred three of his he categorized his communication skill into two whom he communicated. What all are they?
Workplace.
The way he communicated, he categorized into three parts. To whom all he communicated?
Direct.
Sandwich.
No, mother, friend, week.
Right. Family, friend, and at office. Right. So Anuja used a lot of good words. Could you remember a few of them?
Billy Caustic.
Norway.
Aonaran.
Right. Very good usage. It's very difficult to remember, but they were a really good usage. There were a lot of good table topic speaker, and table topic speaker Sachin went to a place. Which place he referred to?
Later.
Very nice. Right. And our Toastmaster of the day, he narrated a poem. It was about
The wind and his
daughter.
right.
Daughter.
And today is the Daughter's Day, and I wish all the daughters over there and the proud parents of a daughter. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Revati. Thank you for that. So before I hand over to the presiding officer, I would like to present my evaluation as a general evaluator. Pretty much most of the details have been covered by the evaluators and the tag team so far. To begin with, I would like to start with the sections that we can re-look into or improve upon in the subsequent meetings. Firstly, the key roles like be it general evaluator or grammarian should be taken proactively or in advance, although these are the roles which could be filled in at the first, apart from the speech evaluations. That's something we can look into. Meeting start time was on the dot in the previous meetings, but we started kind of 5 minutes. There was a 5-minute delay in today's start time, but still, considering that it's a Sunday, it's pretty much, it's okay. So we could be a little bit relaxed on that front, but just a point to note, to take a note of. And some of the incorrect grammar usages were already noted by the grammarian. Just to add, similar to more maturer, more better also was used by one of the speakers, so that could be looked into. And there were some incorrect usage of verb forms in reported speech. I don't want to point out specifically, but this is something we can re-look into. Particularly, we need to be very very cautious when we are using the reported speech, and we need to be attentive to the verb form while we are reporting something in the past tense. That's one thing we can take care of. And coming to the good usages and the good side of the meeting today, what went really smooth and well were majority of the speakers, majority of the speech slots and the roles were taken proactively. That was on the good side. Only 1 or 2 roles were left out, which is why that was covered under an area which we can re-look into. Majority of the, most of the speakers and attendees were we had turned on the video for most part of the meeting, which is one of the important thing when particularly when we are meeting in an online or virtual platform. So it's suggested, it is preferred to have the video turned on at most of the time as much as possible. Usage of there were some usages of rarely used words. Some of the words that I have noted in addition, words or phrases in addition to the grammarian noted, a word like shooting yourself in the foot, chuckle, perseverance, most accomplishing experience. These were some of the phrases and words which were used. And most importantly, TMOD used nice phrases and well-structured sentences while transitioning between 2 segments, which is very important and which usually many of us falter while doing this. So this was done very smoothly and very creatively by the TMOD. So on that note, I would like to hand it over to the presiding officer for today, Toastmaster Anuja. Over to you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raman, for your detailed report. And there will be a poll shortly on your screen to vote for the best role takers. So stay tuned, because that is an important part of voting. Votes are very important, whether it's any sort of election or any sort of competition. So Okay, and do we have any feedbacks from any of our guests or any of the members who want to give a feedback on how did you feel that the meeting went? Okay. Is the poll ready?
Yes, Anuja, it's already released. I think I've got 7 responses as of now.
Okay, I think I'm the one who hasn't responded.
Yeah, you can go ahead and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I hope everyone has responded by now.
Yes, I'll just send you the results now.
Okay, sure. Yes, Kamini, you have raised your hand.
If I'm allowed a minute, I would like to really congratulate the table topic master for bringing in this concept of TT, which I have never seen in the past 4 months. This is my 4 months of journey in Toastmasters. No club. First time in this club, I got to witness something where we are using these fancy words in the language and along with them giving the meaning and asking people to speak about experiences of life or whatever they understand out of that. So that's very nice, very thoughtful, I would say. Thank you. I'm glad I could witness this today. And of course, there's a learning everywhere. So this is my learning for today. Thank you, TTM, for doing this.
Thank you so much for that feedback, Toastmaster Kamini. Yes, I really felt that it might be helpful for people if sometimes when we just look at the hard words, we tend not to, weave a story around it. And so we never use them in our day-to-day use. And in my previous club, we used to do this once in a while, that we used to bring up these sort of words and then weave a story around it so that you can remember it in the longer run, because once you have used a word in your sentence, it becomes very easy for you to remember and it adds to your vocabulary as well. So yeah. So, and also we have the voting results now. So the best speaker is Toastmaster Vanshika. Huge rounds of applause for her. Best evaluator is Toastmaster Lakshmi. Huge round of applause for her. Best auxiliary role player is also Toastmaster Lakshmi. So two awards for her. Congratulations, Toastmaster Lakshmi. Best table topic speaker is Toastmaster Kamini. Congratulations. And best role player is me, Anuja. Thank you everyone for your kind votes. And I hope you all really enjoyed the session. And if anyone has any feedback about the session, or if you want to join our meeting next Sunday, please do, follow our Instagram page. We have a page on LinkedIn and we have a YouTube page as well. So do join us there and follow us and be connected. See you all again very soon. Have a great day and have a good evening now. Now it's evening officially, so have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice
Thank you,
day.
everyone. Good evening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.